Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
Good morning. Are you folks here on LVNV funding versus SPAR?
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Demers. I can't see you, but
Well, I'm trying to straighten my calendar. Okay, I should be on right now.
very good. And we have Jocelyn Uy. Looks like she's in another court right now. I thought I was the only one that started at 8:30, but there are other early risers.
I believe this was up for 9, John,
Yeah, it is.
but that's okay. I'm ready to go when you are.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. There was a mix-up in my office. I didn't know that they had coverage counsel for me, so I'm going to go ahead and jump off the call.
All right. Well, which side are you here on? You're here for the defendant?
I am, but I see that.
All right, but Mr. Demers is also here for the defendant.
That's right, Your Honor. My office didn't notify me that they were able to find coverage counsel, so I'm going to go ahead and jump off the call.
All right, well, it looks like you are two places at once, so we'll deal with Mr. Demers, and here is the other side. So, all right, thank you. Say hello to whatever district court you're in.
Okay.
Good morning, Judge. Ken Demers appearing on behalf of Ms. Spar, B49605 fund.
Yes, thank you. Oh, now we've got, oh, he's credit one. He's our next case.
I believe I looked online and I saw credit one and LVNV, so it could be the other attorney might be here for LVNV. I just thought it was a mix-up.
It says counsel for defendant. Good morning. Which case are you here on?
I'm showing credit one versus Gian Spar.
That's the one that I show. That's the one I show also, Your Honor. Apparently you got
and are you here on behalf of the defendant or behalf of the plaintiff?
Defendant.
I'm here.
Oh, well, we have three lawyers for Gene Spar.
Boy, it's a wealthy world. Well, maybe, I don't know. Why don't I stick around for LVNV then?
All right. And
okay.
What's your name, sir?
Brandon Buck.
All right. Give me your Brandon.
B-U-C-K.
What's your P number?
63152.
No, I also have someone named Sam Martin. Let's see who this is.
Like a typical Monday.
Yes. Foggy, rainy morning. Start out with a bang at first thing in the morning.
Well, let's take it slow.
Yeah, I'm good at that. All right, now I've got Sam Martin. Mr. Martin, what case are you here on?
I am here on for not paying on my Omni Credit Union loan.
All right, our Omni case is next, but I don't have a defendant named Sam Martin.
Well, it says today at 12:16 at 9 a.m.
All right. Well, stay right where you are. We'll figure out what's going on here.
All righty.
Let me look. Let's see what the deal is with your case. You're right. Typical Monday. You got to think on your.
On? Right. Who's on first?
I don't know. Third base. These aren't even in here. They're in the pretrial docket. Where? I don't have a Sam Martin case in the docket. Let's take a look. Doesn't matter, because I don't have a plaintiff here.
Well, I know I wasn't able to make the payments on my loan.
No,
So I
Mr.
got-
Martin, just stick with me for a minute.
Okay, all right.
All right, here it is, two. He says he's got something that shows today's date on it.
I don't have anything.
You're in it, I can't get in it.
My remote thing on base shows January 13th. Maybe they had to reset. I didn't look at the article.
Mr. Martin,
Yes, sir.
your case is set for January. I can't get in the file because somebody else is in it, but your case is set for January 13th.
Okay, I have not received any paperwork on that, so I don't,
Well, I can't get in the damn file, so
Okay.
let me
so January 13th, let me write that down.
let me look. Yeah, well, I'm on a wild goose chase here.
Does it say time on the 13th?
Just a minute.
Okay,
All right, here it is in another format. You got a summons,
yes,
you got a notice for hearing for December 16th at 9 a.m., big as life. Then there was a motion for summary disposition. Boy, this is all screwy.
Did you get it, John?
No, he's got a notice for today.
It was his pretrial. They had a motion for summary disposition before the today, and you
Okay.
filed the motion for summary. Filed the order.
Oh, I
And told
hate
me
when
not
that,
to have the pretrial.
all right. We had a hearing on November 25th that you didn't show up
Oh.
for.
I did not know anything about that.
Well, let's
It's
take a
on the
look.
paperwork.
The only notice I see in here is for December 16th.
That's the only one I've received.
Then there's another one for a motion. I hate when this happens. The summary disposition and the pretrial don't end up on the same day. And this time, the summary disposition preceded. Anyway, you got a notice for November 25th. It was mailed by the court.
Mhm.
This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the only paperwork I received was for today.
You have a notice for November 25th, 2024 that was issued December 16th, 2024. So no wonder you didn't show up.
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
We're gonna have to deal with this. Now,
Okay.
You have a discovery hearing. There may be an issue about whether we should set aside this default. It is set for this. I don't have time to parse this out, but it's screwy. You got a notice allegedly for November 25th, but it said the notice was sent December 16th. So we have a discovery hearing,
Okay,
which they sent a notice. Boy, I can't sort this out. First, January 13th at 1:45, they sent the notice to the M60 address.
Yep.
So we'll have to deal with it at that time,
okay,
but it's not set for this morning. And there was a hearing that Miss Salisbury appeared at in November that you did not appear at it, but I can't establish that you ever got notice of it.
Right, I have not seen any other paperwork or mail.
Well, you should have received the notice for the discovery hearing. That went out in November.
Hmm.
Uh,
I could check with the neighbors. I know the mail lady screws up on her mail all the time over here. But I think they would
can't
have gave me
tell.
paperwork.
All right, I will see that you get another notice of that asset discovery hearing,
Okay,
because I can't sort this out. All right, thank you.
okay.
All right, well, let's deal with the case we're actually supposed to be dealing with. Problem with this case, now I've got 3 lawyers for the defendant, no lawyer for the plaintiff. Let's see, we've got Mr. Katz here. Let's see which case he's here on.
Your Honor, Ken
Good
Demers
morning.
on SPAR on one of these cases anyway. If
Let me
somebody got
remove Mr. Barr.
representation on both of these cases, I could just bow out.
All right, well, let's find out. Mr. Katz, which case are you here on this morning?
I am here on LVMV funding versus Gene Spar.
All right, you're 9 minutes late. We've been chasing our tail on another matter, so it's probably all right. Now, your client, actually, the defendant had 3 attorneys show up. Let me put Andrew Katz for plaintiff. All right, let's see if we can unscramble this Gordian knot. This is entitled LVNV Funding LLC versus Gene Spar or Jeannie Spar. The file number is 231952GC. LVNV Funding in this matter is represented by attorney Andrew Katz. Ms. Spar is represented by either or Kenneth Demers or Brandon Buck. This is a claim, as I stated, for $2,055.80. Jennifer Palin did represent the defendant, and we've been chasing our tails for 6 months on this case. We were here on July 1st. Mr. Palin was here, and Preston Nate did not appear. Defendant was working with a debt settlement company and expected the settlement. Oh, Mr. Nate was here, but Ms. Spar was not. I take that back. They expected a settlement. We continued it to August 19th of 2024 at 9 a.m. On August 19th, Jennifer Palin appeared. They were working on a settlement with Preston Nate. Brian Groen was here for the plaintiff. They requested another adjournment to 9/9/24 at 9 a.m. I expected a settlement. They said they were 99% close to resolution. So I continued the matter to 9/9. There was an order for conditional dismissal and contingent order for reinstatement and judgment. Jennifer Palin appeared for the defendant. She asked to rescind the order for conditional dismissal. The stipulation was not entered. Plaintiff failed to appear, thought the case was settled, set the matter for a new pretrial. And the conditional order of dismissal was not entered. So I set the matter for October 28th. I got new counsel. I got Elizabeth Rummery for the plaintiff, and again, Jennifer Palin for the defendant. They were gonna file a motion for summary disposition. Plaintiff had 21 days to file the motion for summary disposition. Defendant had 21 days to respond, and I kicked the matter out all the way till December 16th. And here we are. So, Mr. Katz, what do you know at this point about this matter?
Well, Your Honor, that's definitely an extensive record that I was wasn't aware of in this case, but to my knowledge, I am here to present a motion for summary disposition brought pursuant to 2.116 C9 and C10. To my knowledge, there has been no response to this motion filed. We were asking that the motion for summary be granted this morning in the total amount of $2,234.94, which would be $2,055.80, $179.14 in court costs and attorney fees, which brings us to the total that I previously mentioned.
Give me that total again.
$2,234.94.
All right, I guess, let's see, Mr. Demers, we had 3 lawyers here for the defendant. Mr. Buck, what are your marching orders here?
Yes, Your Honor, indicating that, my file indicates that, Ms. Spar is continuing to gather funds for settlement. She has a couple health issues and she's presently responsible for caring for her disabled sister and living on Social Security income. So we were still optimistic that we could reach a settlement in lieu of proceeding, but that's pretty much where we're at on the defendant's end.
Mr. Demers, do you have any other marching orders?
Your Honor, I narrowed it down. What I did in preparation for today was I looked online and I found no other case than the LVNV versus Jeannie Spar. But Your Honor announced the other case, which I am here on, Credit 1 versus Jeannie Spar. So I will bow out at this point and pick up on Credit 1 versus Jeannie Spar, if that is perfectly okay.
Yes, but I don't have a Credit 1 versus Jeannie Spar set for today, so let's take a look at that.
Can we throw another monkey into the monkey wrench into the mix?
All right, so I have LVNV funding 231952, which is the case we're in. Then she also has 231964. Is that the case you're here on?
I was sent here without a case number, which kind of increases my difficulty here. If that might be Credit 1, that's quite possibly the one that I'm here on.
That one, a default entered earlier this summer. I don't have a Credit 1 versus Jeannie Spar. Is it a St. Joseph County case?
No, I was given this court, but if we don't have it, we don't have it.
Do you have a file number?
Well, what I do have is a notation on my calendar with this Zoom ID and the same information that Defendant's Counsel in LVNB versus Jeannie Spar just gave. So I'm pretty sure I'm here on Credit 1, and if this is not pending, I would. All
right, well, you're free to go then. I don't have a Credit 1 versus Jeannie Spar, but Jennifer Palon's office was representing the defendant. Maybe she's got other actions. At any rate, Mr. Demers, you're released.
Could you tell me when the default was in, if you wouldn't mind?
In the other case?
Yeah, in the Credit 1.
I don't have a Credit 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
I don't have a case in my data banks entitled Credit 1 versus Jeannie Spar. And since you don't have a file number or an amount, somebody sent you somewhere at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning. Maybe it was like a cruel joke, but I don't have a case that reflects your facts. You don't have a file.
Yeah, I will accept that. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
If I may, I don't know if this is going to help or muddy the waters further.
Okay, well,
LVNV purchased this debt from Credit One Bank. It was an American Express card.
all right.
I don't
Well,
know if that
the
helps
earlier
the court
case, Mr. Demers, do you have an amount?
I believe Mr. Katz cited the amount, so it appears to be one and the same. And my,
Well,
my information appears to be erroneous.
All right, well, okay, let's take a look. That earlier case, the default entered, the defendant made a motion to set aside the default, appeared by Jennifer Palon and allowed the default to stand. The motion to set aside the default was denied. And a default judgment entered May 28th of 2024 in file 231964 GC. All right, so this case, 231952, we dinked around for months from July to December trying to resolve this. There was a conditional order of dismissal in the offing. Defendant changed her mind, and the order was not entered. Attorney Palon asked us not to enter it, so we did not. So plaintiff filed a motion for summary disposition, which defendant did not respond to, and plaintiff is entitled to summary disposition. There is no material issue of fact, and defendant has stated no defense. Mr. Katz, can you see a motion for summary disposition?
I have a motion for summary disposition before me. It's dated, looks like it's dated the 7th of November of this year. Let me see here. I can pull up the rest of it. It was filed with the proof of service on the 7th of November.
Michelle, can you help me? I can't find that motion for summary disposition.
I don't know what case you're on.
I'm in LVNDB funding versus SPAR.
That's set for today.
Yes,
If I got a motion filed, it would be in your paperwork today.
it's not in my paperwork and it's not in on base.
Then I don't know where it's at, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah, boy.
It could be mixed in with the umpteen things of new cases sitting before.
Well, it was filed in November.
It could be mixed in with some of my new cases. behind
Well,
me.
would you see if you could find it? Yeesh. It's been that kind of morning. Obviously, it was filed in November and set for hearing for this morning. It must have been somewhere. Mr. Buck, do you have the motion for summary disposition?
I do not have a file in my file. I don't have a copy in my file. However, yeah, I don't know if the client didn't forward it to us or she didn't receive it. So I don't want to conclusively say one way or another whether it was filed or not. I'll defer to the court's docket as the official record. But I do not have a copy in my file.
For the record, it was served to Ms. Palin.
All right.
Is it showing as filed in the court's docket?
No.
Hmm.
But that may be a problem at my end, which
Yeah.
should not be an issue. It was certainly discussed, and it was set out for this date some time ago. And there's a notice of a motion. So I'm going to grant the motion for summary disposition contingent upon finding the motion. I'd ask you to send me an order to that effect.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If I need further hearing, I'll set it.
Understood.
but he submitted under the 7-day rule. All right, I'm sorry for the confusion. We had 3 defense lawyers. The court can't find its motion, which is embarrassing. Plaintiff officer of the court indicated that order was prepared and served. There has been no material issue of fact, and I think the matter was settled until it wasn't. So our email address, well, you're going to send it under the 7-day rule, so we will deal with it when you submit it. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Sorry about
Thank you,
the
Your Honor.
confusion.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I mean, what's the guy's name on first? You get
What is on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know. Third base.